You know, everyone talks about corruption and everyone is an enemy of corruption. And we can agree that kila mtu anasema corruption imeharibu. And indeed, we know, like our country, so much corruption has made things very worse. There's a very big number of people who are very poor and some people who are extremely rich. Now, last year, actually exactly a year ago, I had vied for Limuru MP seat and I participated in the nominations. And I'm very grateful for everyone who voted for me. But I learned something which actually made me be very happy. I am very happy I decided to contest for that seat. But I can tell you for a fact, I'm very happy I never won that seat. Reason being, I learned so many things. I opened doors. I even interacted with the president. Right now, if I meet the president, the deputy president, they call me by my name. But I came to learn so many things which are very unfortunate. And I want to share with you some of the things that I came to learn. And I can tell you, don't expect corruption to end anytime soon in this country. I have interacted with politicians for the last 12 years. I have been actively involved in politics since 2011, so those are 12 years. And I can tell you, politics is a very powerful, I would say, we can call it occupation, is a very powerful occupation because you control everything in this country. That's why you see even the very rich people want to end up in politics. So, now this is what happens. And this is the reason corruption will never end in this country. When you want to vie for a position, 95% of people who are elected in Kenya, they have to pour money, literally pour money. The 5% could be lucky because maybe they are poor or maybe they are from connected families, but only 5%. 95% ni kumwaga pesa. In millions, lazima umwage. Now, let us do a very simple calculation. For you to win an MCA seat in this country, Kenya, you need an average of between 3 to 5 million shillings. 3 to 5 million shillings. The salary of an MCA, I hear, is about 144,000. So, 144, let's put allowances, we make it 200. In a year, that is 2.4 million. In 5 years, that is around 12 million. Yeah, without any expenses, without any deduction. That's the money you make. That does not even make much interest because that is recoverable. Now let us go higher. First, when I was vying for the MP seat, for you to be an MP in Kenya, you need to use about 20 million to 50 million for you to win. Some even use more. And I can tell you for a fact, like for me, I had campaigned for 4 years, and I'm very happy I did so many things for the people in Limuru. Things to do with electricity, maji, barabara, security, petitions. Actually, people are calling me petitions guy because I was always doing petitions. Now, let's go higher. For you to be a governor in Kenya, you need between 300 to 500 million. Sometimes it can get higher. But the most interesting position is for you to be president. For you to be president in this country, you need to spend between 10 to 20 billion campaigning. Now, let us use that position for the presidency. If you use, let's even be fair, let's talk of 15 billion to be president. Now, do a very simple calculation. As the salary of a president, inclusive of allowances, is 2 million shillings per month. In a year, that's 24 million. In 5 years, that's 120 million. Yet, you have used 15 billion to campaign. You have actually in 5 years, you will earn the legitimate salary less than 1% of the money you need for you to be president. Now, all these people who are in politics are businessmen, including our president. Is a very good businessman. Our deputy president, Rigiji, is also a businessman. Actually, we remember some years ago, the Coates froze his accounts with 200 million shillings in cash. So he's in legit business. If he's a businessman, there is no businessman anywhere in the world who wakes up to go and waste money. Every businessman, I myself included, whenever we put on an investment, whenever we risk, whenever tunawekelea, you expect to return that money with some profits. So if I put 15 billion to be president, I need to earn that money after 5 years, equal 30, 40, 50 billion. Definitely, this money is not from one source. No one can afford, even our dear former president, he cannot afford to put 15 billion to a campaign. So what happens? People come on board and they support you. So you find that that 15 billion has been raised by close to hundreds of people, but they need their money back. So now, after someone has won either the MCA position, at the presidency position, or governor, or any other position, people need their money back. And even you yourself, in case you have financed your own campaigns, you need your money back. So what do you do? That's why you see what wanaitwa tenderpreneurs. You have to go into tendering. And now when you go into tendering, maybe the profit margins are very little. Maybe let's talk of 10% profits if you do genuine tendering. Now, for you to make 15 billion returns with a net return of 10% profit, that means you have to do government business worth around 150 billion for you to earn 15 billion. Remember, you need to earn how much? Maybe 30 billion after 5 years for you to recoup your investment at 100% profit. Now, this is why it gets interesting. If you do genuine tendering business, because I know so many people who are in genuine tenders, you will never make that profit back. So this is what happens. And this is the reason corruption will never end. If a tender is worth 10 million shillings, instead of earning 1 million shilling clean profit, some tenderpreneurs go to as much as 50% profit. So kama ni barabara ni ya Maram, nataka kumwaga Maram na BQ inasema ni mwage road kama 100, I have to do 50 so that I can get higher returns. Kama ni, I had a very interesting scenario. I won't say which county. I used to work in a county government some years back. So this is what MCAs were doing. Unaenda unapewa tender ama unapewa contract ya kuwekewa these street rights in your ward. So maybe unapewa 200 street rights. When the contractor comes on board, there's the completion certificate which has to be signed by the MCA. So mnaongea na contractor. Badala aweke 100 street rights, anaweka 40 ama anaweka 50 at most. Alafu you as the MCA unamsainia because unajua atakupea kickback ya like 1 million. Yeah? So that goes all the way to the presidency. You find that for you to make that money, you have to go and you have to go and make sure you are getting up to 50-60% returns from a tender. Definitely what will happen is that that tender whichever work has been done will be very poor quality because it won't be done as per the engineer's BQ. Then another thing, there is also that money which you hear that is stolen in sacks. There's a lot of money in this country. You hear that KRA is collecting trillions every year. Now that money goes and is reserved. Definitely people will come and take that money. You had back around 9 years ago during the NYS scandal that someone would carry money in a sack, literally. That is what happens. People have to carry money in sacks. Why? Because you used a lot of money campaigning and you need it back. So this is a question. Who causes corruption? Is it the person who has been elected who is stealing to get their money back, or is it we, sisi Wanjiko, ambao tunaitisha pesa? Because you find that when you are campaigning, it doesn't matter what you have done. Kuna watu wengi sana wamefanya vitu mingi sana in this country. I won't say I'm one of them, but there are good people who have done so many good things. People like PLO Lumumba, people like Boniface Mwangi, walisimama viti na hawezi pewa kura. And those are, I would say, quote and quote, they are clean guys. Lakini hawakupewa. Because we as Wanjiko, tunataka kuchagua yule mtu anachota. Lazima amwage pesa. Hii pesa lazima irudi. So for me, corruption in Kenya is like this. The story of the chicken and the egg the egg and the hen, ni gani ilikuja mapema? Ni kuku ama ni yai? So assuming someone vice anatumia watu SMSs, anaweka a few posters, akikuja kukampeni hata tunamchotea, hatumuitishi hata shilingi moja. Unapata mtu anasimama MP na anatumia shilingi tu kama 1500, tunamchagua. Then anaenda huko bunge na 1 million. Honestly, within a month you have already recouped your investment in the campaign. So you may the need for you to steal is much lower. Maybe you want to be president. You go and you see people contributing 100 bob, 200, 300, yako peke yako unatumia shilingi kama milioni 10. Then you go and earn that money clean. That's why maybe some of these countries in the West, they have very low corruption. So from my own experience, as much as we keep making politicians spend a lot of money campaigning for them to be elected, and remember some of them have vied for twice, thrice, four times failing, finally wanashinda, sio pesa lazima irudi. So that to me is the reason we have so much corruption. And unfortunately from 2010, as you know, once we passed that old constitution, tulikuwa na watu wengi sana, we go to the ballot to elect 6 people. All these people, for them to win, wametumia pesa, na hiyo pesa lazima irudi. So that's the reason watu wataendelea kuiba pesa, contracts zitaenda kufanywa in a short way so that they can get their money back. So tusijiulize corruption ati ilitoka wapi ama itaisha lini. Haitawaisha. As long as politicians keep spending a lot of money to get those seats, corruption haitawaisha in this country.